What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another show. Welcome to the Blind Gooner, and we are back again. I'm back again reviewing last night's game, and actually, we won away from home at a top six side. I'm all smiles this afternoon. Joining me to discuss the finer points. I've got the host of the Mr. Arsenal podcast, Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, not too bad, Daniel. Thanks for the invite. And yeah, like yourself, still can't believe you actually won. After the form we've gone into that game, literally losing to City and Leicester. But you know what? We deserved it. From the first second to the end, we were a better team. So I'm happy. And now we move on. Now we kick on.
Yeah, definitely. Big up Omar already in the chat. Thanks for joining. And yeah, it was a really good win, wasn't it, yesterday? You know, we without getting too carried away, because we have to be careful as well, because we've had these one-off results, for a long time, and then we've just dipped. So we have got to be careful. We have got to just be cautious. Listen, guys, we are going to review this game in a little bit more depth. But before I get into that and forget to do the preliminaries, please do like, subscribe, share. There's a banner going across your screen with all the relevant information. So do pay attention to that, and do check that out. And also leave your comments down below, because we will read them out as we go along. I was very impressed yesterday. Although we only won 1-0, I was very impressed. Certain players impressed me. For me, Elneny really, really impressed me. Gabriel really impressed me. And again, Partey as well. Partey really impressed me. You know, every time. And what really impressed me with Partey is that every time he would make a mistake, he would always get back and make up for it. You know, we've seen time after time with players like Granit Xhaka making mistakes, giving the ball away, and just be like, oh, fuck it, let him go. Whereas Partey gave the ball away a few times yesterday, and it was like, fuck's sake, and it got back and won it. Do you know what I mean? So I like that tenacious attitude for him. And he, you know, we've lacked that. And again, like with Gabriel, we've lacked that bullying defence. Listen, I know it's only one game, and I know Man United, let's be honest, were awful yesterday. But we bullied them. We fully bullied Man United yesterday. You know, all the Man United fans, right, were so arrogant, and they were like, oh, we're not worried about Arsenal. We're going to do a number on Arsenal. And, you know, they capitulated. They capitulated. And I tell you what, that result yesterday for them is not great for them, because I think it puts Ollie under a bit of pressure. But for us, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I can't, listen, we didn't, I still feel we lack a little bit going forward in the creative areas. And we were lucky to kind of, it was great that Auba scored his penalty. But again, we have to take the wins as we get them. Do you know what I mean? And what made it all the more sweeter as well is that we won at Old Trafford by a penalty against the team who get so many penalties in this league. So it was even more sweeter for that.
Yeah, it was. And it's also talk about the scoreline. If anything, really, if you look at the grand scheme of the match, the chances, because we did have chances, didn't we? We weren't on target, but we had chances. If they'd been on target, that scoreline would have been a lot higher. So really, it would have been at a 3-4-0. If we had them chances we had up the missed touch from Aubameyang in the first half, Lacazette ear kicking the shot. If he'd made contact, that's going in. Let's be honest. If Willian's shot is a bit lower, that's 2-0 before half time. That's before the penalty. So really, the scoreline does flatten them. But yeah, it's not good on there. It's putting more pressure on, especially after they battered Leipzig midweek, as you said. And then with Man United fans then get their chests out and go fucking, we want. What was it? There was that clip going around Twitter last night going with Flex from United Stand talking to DT. And like, you know what, this weekend? I want to win 1-0 by a penalty. and it just come back and Switzerland. I just love that sort of calm. You can't, you literally couldn't have hit it. But also, with going back to Partey, because as you mentioned at the beginning of your sort of touch on things, and as I've been saying over on my channel, this guy is literally the nearest thing we've had, and possibly could be better. Possibly not easy at the moment, but possibly potential to be better than Patrick Vieira. We've had no one we brought in, because obviously we had Gilberto at the time, but no one that we brought in that's been at that level. That, as you said, when they lose the ball, they'll chase it down, they'll get it back, and they act literally, and they don't go, oh well, you have the ball. I'll redeem myself later on or something. He acts straight away. He helps at the defence. He's just immense. I mean, literally, if it weren't for Gabriel as well, I think he would have been man of the match. And then Nenny as well. What a season he's so far, 7 games in, league games wise. El Nenny's having an absolute. He's again, El Nenny's reminded me of Chambers last year. Went out on loan, came back. It's like he's got a point to prove, and we're benefiting from it. And you know what? Whilst El Nenny's playing like this, I'd rather have him in the starting 11 than Granit. I'd rather, if that's the way Granit's been performing lately, I'd rather leave him on the bench as a last resort, so to speak, because his form has dipped. Whereas El Nenny and obviously Partey's coming in, he's spent 45 million. He's, as you said, he's been fantastic so far, touch wood. But El Nenny himself, he's helping. If anything, the way he's playing at the moment is complementing and helping out Partey settle into the league. And then Saka as well. I mean, there's only 2 players in that out of the entire all the players that played for us that I was a bit at the end of the match. Like they didn't really rise to the occasion, so to speak. And one of them being Lacazette, as we touched on. Since the Liverpool game, his form sort of dipped and his confidence gone, this, that, and the other. But apart from that, the mature man, literally, that team was immense. When Eddie comes on, he had a couple of chances. He run their defence ragged. And again, hats off. All praise has to go down to Arteta because he had the game plan. And everyone, because we obviously won yesterday, like you got lots of Jamie Redknapp goal coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, we can see what Arteta's doing. We can see there's a style he's trying to implement and all that. He's trying to, but first and foremost, he has to sort of the defence. And this is the thing that he's been criticised for, ironically, considering when he came in, we were leaking goals left, right, and centre, and our midfield is non-existent. He's come in, addressed certain situations in the transfer market that we needed. We needed tall, big-built, athletic players in defence, midfield, you name it. He's gone out and done it. And yes, he didn't get the creative midfielder we all wanted, this, that, and the other, but you're not going to get everything you want in one window. To be honest, I'd rather sort our defence out and stop leaking the goals first and then now he's sorted that, we can have push on and look and sort of get the balance right now and sort our attack out.
Yeah. Big up Russ. Big up Chadwick. He said Bellerin also had a great game. Big up NW Arsenal. Listen, it was a great win. Listen, I don't want to comment on other people's opinions of the football club because there's too much of that going around at the moment. At the end of the day, like everybody's entitled to their own opinion. A lot of people don't like Arteta. A lot of people don't like, a lot of people love Arteta. And listen, everybody's entitled to support the football club the way they choose to, and everybody's entitled to have their own opinions. Listen, you look at Man United. They're a lot of people think it's just Arsenal, but it's not. You look at Man United fans, and they're so divided on Ollie as well. And listen, I'm not going to call people out for having a certain opinion, No. So listen, I ain't going to get into any of that. But it was a fantastic win. It was brilliant. It was, it was brilliant. I thought. I'm not getting carried away with this result because, like, we have been here a million times before where we've had a one good win and then, it's all gone to shit again. So we do have to back it up with a subsequent win at the next big game. And I believe the next big game away is Tottenham. Yeah. If we can back it up, there, and then I think. Then I think after that we got Chelsea. If if we can continue it and get a win there, and you know, things will have turned a corner. Things will be turning a corner, not completely, but things will be turning a corner. But yeah, listen, I'm happy. And like I say, El Neni impressed me, Partey. And I just want to go back to your comment about, you know, him nearly being as good as Patrick Vieira or possibly better. Listen, he's still got a lot to do.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I will say that like he is the nearest thing we have had to Patrick Vieira in a long time. You know, he's still got to live up to that because, you know, Patrick Vieira won titles and Jesus Christ, that guy was an absolute legend. So Partey's got to do that, but he's the closest thing. And you could see that yesterday, the way he just dictated. You know, he done a number on Pogba, done an absolute number on Pogba the entire game. He made Man United look ordinary. You know, and they, let's not forget though, I'm not going to take nothing away from Man United because, you know, coming into this game, they had wins over Leipzig, PSG. You know, they've done all right, but you know, and plus they were so confident in beating us. But actually, we were the better team on the day. We were the better team. Okay, yes, I still worry about our attacking threat. That we're not taking enough of our chances, and winning by 1 goal is not always going to be enough. We need to try and build on that. So I still think we've got areas of improvement. But having said that, we got the job done. We got the win, and all being it only being winning by 1 goal, we do have to understand that psychologically, this will do absolute wonders for the players' performance going into future away games. And I want to allude back to a comment DT made on his AFTV interview, because the comment he made was so true and so poignant, in that up until now we've been going into away games against the Big Six, and it's been, God, Arsenal haven't won away from home for ages, since 2015. Now that we've done that, when we go into the next big game, he is going to, you know, everybody's going to be talking about, oh, remember last time Arsenal were away from home against Man United, we beat them. So it's good to get that little monkey off our back, and sort of shake that little psychological thing that we've had going on. Plus, it's also good to get a win at Old Trafford. We've not won at Old Trafford for 14 years.
Oh, don't
14 years. That's 2006. And for a big club like us, it's not acceptable. So to kind of do that, you know, is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, especially, it's not acceptable, especially when you see, when you look at it, the last, 6-7 years, whenever Ferguson retired, they've been on a downward slope. We've had amped opportunities since Ferguson's retired, and even before he had, but since, even more so since that the squad itself, the club itself, have got weaker and weaker, and we never took advantage of it until yesterday. And as you said, it's a psychological thing now. We've broke that monkey's back. We can move on. It's like you said, literally going to the next thing, which I was attracted, is the next big one against the top 6 is Tottenham away. Then it's literally people stop going back, harping back to only 5.5 years ago, and things like that. It can literally just go back to literally a couple of months ago, and we go from there.
And Russ has put some stats in about Partey that he had yesterday.
His first
79 touches. Yeah, those stats are brilliant, Russ. Right? Do you know why those stats are brilliant? Because, like you said as well, it is only his second game. When he gets into full flow, he's going to be immense. He's gonna add. You know, you could already see that he adds something to our midfield that we've been sorely lacking. But listen, as well as Thomas Partey, right? And Thomas Partey was brilliant. Listen, we knew what we're getting. You know, we knew what we were getting when we signed him. And you know, 2 things with Thomas Partey, right, is that one, it shows the Cronkies that if you spend the money on the right player, you can get that sort of quality in your team. And so yeah, that's really good. The second player who deserves a mention as well is El Neni, because having Partey in our team enabled him to do stuff that he wasn't able to do, and he had a fantastic game. And I tell you what, Arteta has improved him as a player, considering that he's a player that looked like he was going to be on the way out. He looked like he was going to be on the way out, but Arteta seems to have got him and said, listen, I think you can do this better. I think you can do this better. And he's really improved him, and you can see that. And I want to see now for the next game, I don't want to see Granit Xhaka come back into the side. I want to see Partey and El Neni.
Yeah.
I want to see El Neni be rewarded with a start. I don't want to see Xhaka coming into this team.
Well, exactly.
Because he doesn't deserve to play. He does not deserve to play.
Well, exactly.
Big up Miss Melina in the chat.
This is what we were saying backstage. Literally, El Neni doesn't deserve to be dropped. He hasn't done nothing wrong. So let's continue this. While he's in good form, continue it. Because if he keeps putting his good performances, keep dropping him, then his confidence is going to go. And then we're going to be back to square one and have Partey with two midfielders either side of him. And at the moment, we've got one. That's fine. We can sort of bench him and play El Neni. And El Neni is doing fantastic. And as you said, because he's Premier League, his experience he's got playing at Premier League level with Arsenal, and the fact he's come back like Chambers did last year with a point to prove, that attitude, and the fact that Arteta said, "I believe in you," that he's given him a chance, and he's thriving off it. And if you notice, also, if you compare him to when he last played for us before he went online till now, beforehand it was like all sideways, backwards, always been like looking for something backwards, always been progressive. Whereas under Mikel, he's not passing backwards all the time. Once in a blue moon, but he's doing the donkey work. He's not afraid to get stuck and do the hard graft of it, and allow Partey the freedom to do what he has to do, the best of his game. But he's also put the passing is going whenever Banana gets the ball. Most of the time, it's forward and it's an attacking. It's an intent to attack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still worried about our attack because we do need to create more, and our strikers and our forwards do need to take more of their chances because, like I say, we're not always going to get away with that in every single game. We're not always going to get away with that. So we do need to be tactically better when it comes to attacking.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this is what we've been saying for the last week or so now. Yeah, it's fantastic. Arteta's come in and sorted out our defence and made us difficult to get past, no matter who we play. And that's between the Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah.
But also,
so yeah, we do.
It's now about getting the balance right, getting that creativity sorted now, getting that balance spot on. Because once he gets that spot on, I think we'll be firing all cylinders. That's when we start pushing forward as a whole and start looking like we're going to be a competitive team again.
Yeah, because we haven't been competitive for a long time on the big stages, and we do need to actually as well. Let's not lose sight of our objectives. As well, we can't lose sight of our objectives, and our objectives are to get into the Champions League. And I do think we need to get we do need to get there. But listen, winning away from home against Man United at Old Trafford, I think is fantastic. Like I was saying, psychologically, it does so much for us. But I am going to be cautious here and say that we have got to be mindful of the fact that we've got to do this consistently now. Consistency is key because consistency is what we've lacked over time. When you look back at the results, when you look back at our results, consistency is the one thing that we haven't had away from home against the big six. So if we can get consistent and maybe get a few more wins against the big six away from home. Listen, I know we've had Man City and Liverpool. We didn't fare too well in them. We beat Man United. We've still got Chelsea. We've still got Tottenham.
Leicester away as well at some point this season.
Yeah, so we've still got Leicester. We've still got, we've still got teams that we can play.
Yeah.
So we need to start. If we can get results, it'd be fantastic. You know, if we can get results in Tottenham and Chelsea, really maybe be the benchmark that you could look at. If we can get a result against Tottenham, if we can get a result against Chelsea or one of their, listen, Chelsea, because Chelsea have got some players that can hurt us as well. So if we get a result against Chelsea, I think that would just be absolutely insane, with the players they've got in the league away from home. Yeah, sorry, you were going to say something.
I was looking at the fixtures and all that, and obviously as you're saying, about the next big 6 away game is Tottenham away. Chelsea away though is at the end of the season, so we've got Tottenham away, and the next big one will be Everton away just before Christmas. Then Chelsea at home on Boxing Day. Just going through it now. Man United on the 30th of January. Man City on the 20th of February, 27th of February. Because if we're in the EFL Cup final, then it'll be another day. But as it stands, 27th of February, we're playing Leicester away. And then, there's a few home games against Tottenham, Liverpool. And then literally the last couple games of the season, we play Chelsea away.
Yeah, big up Steve. Big up Steve. Big up Jonathan Porter as well in the chat who just joined. So big up to all you guys. Remember, guys, do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe if you're new to the channel. And do follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page. All the information is across your screen at the bottom in a banner. So, do check all of that out. We have got some tough games coming up as well. And let's not forget as well, right? And I know we're focusing here on the big teams, the big 6 away from home, which ultimately we've won away from home against the big 6 side. But let's not forget as well, right? We've got some tough tests coming up on the horizon. Aston Villa. Let's not forget them, because at the end of the day, right, they caused Liverpool some problems. Do you know what I mean? They've done a number on Liverpool, so we've got to be careful of them. They've got some players that can cause us problems.
It depends what Villa turns up on the day, because since then they've sort of dropped the ball in the last couple of weeks, as we've seen. But again, they could just switch it and come up and do a Liverpool on us, and I don't want that after beating United. Jesus Christ! You imagine the media if that happened. But I don't think it will. I think it'll be a close game. Don't get me wrong. And then the next game after, we've got Leeds away. It's going to be extremely tough. I mean, the fact that Man City went there all guns blazing and came away with a point, it shows how tough Leeds are going to be at Elland Road. So that's going to be a massive game. And then we've got Wolves at the end of the month as well. So we've got a good few games now where it's going to be tough, but we need to run together now. I think, as we've said over my channel, consistency this season is going to be key. No matter if you're going for the title or top 4 spot or whatever, consistency is going to be the key to getting where you want to be. And we need to get that run to go now. Use yesterday as the groundwork and move and start pushing on. Stop being inconsistent. Like 1 week we win, 1 week we lose, and all that. Get a run together now. Because before you know it, you can start putting away a bit of breathing space instead of this up and down every week.
Yeah, and it is consistency. Consistency has always been a big problem for us at the moment. It has been a massive problem that we've got to sort of put to bed as well. But I do feel we've got the players to be consistent now.
Yeah.
There's still weaknesses in our team, but we genuinely have players who can hurt, who can be consistent. With those additions of Partey and Gabriel, and let's touch on Gabriel because we've not really spoken about him. He was absolutely immense yesterday. Like that, he's only 22 years old, and he looks young, fit, strong. He was really, really bossing Man United's forwards and not really giving them any kind of space. And I know a lot of people, more so Man United fans, some Arsenal fans, are going to say that he should have been sent off. But do you know what? I actually like that aggression in a defender because we've lacked that aggression for so long. We've lacked that passionate defender to put their body on the line, to put their, foot in and get stuck in. We've lacked that for so long.
It's not even that. It's also the smartness of when you've got someone attacking you in the penalty box, not to go sliding in, literally try and hold them up and push them away from the goal. I think it was in the first half. Was it Mason Greenwood was running into the penalty box? He literally he went from being goal side to turning towards the corner flag like that. He didn't have to go sliding in either, and that's again smarter because we've seen so many times throughout the years the Mustafis, Koscielny's, Mertesacker when he first came along, Vermaelen, Schillaci, you name it, literally just go sliding in and just throw himself to the floor and then give away a penalty. So
Omar, I think most of the Arsenal fan base agree with you as well. He said he wants us to build on this now. There's no point beating United one week and then losing to Aston Villa the next.
Yeah.
Consistency is key if we're going to qualify for the Champions League. Yeah, I think most of the Arsenal fans agree with you, and we do need consistency.
And also, just staying on Gabriel, also just staying on that, the fact that he's come in, as you said, he's 21, 22, whatever. His first season in the Premier League, obviously he played Ligue 1, different league to Ligue 1. He doesn't speak English fluently. And it was his first full game where he hasn't played alongside David Luiz, fully. And it didn't seem like it phased him. The communication between him and Rob Holding was immense, and it's fantastic. And again, Gabriel, hats off to him. I put a poll out today, and it's literally like 2% in it between him and Partey for man of the match within the fan base, because that's the thing. Every game he's played in, Gabriel, he's always been a contender for man of the match or been man of the match within the fan base. The performances have been absolutely immense, and a long way that continue. Because again, we've been screaming out for a defender like this for years. We've finally got it. Again, this is what the club are finally addressing the areas that needed addressing. We needed centre backs with big, physical, commanding centre backs. We've gone and got that. And Saliba, hopefully, if it works out there. Obviously, he's still grieving, but he looks like he's getting better. Things are starting to turn around there, according to Mikel, in the sense of him mentally being ready and this, that, and the other. And you've got Gabriel who's coming and took to the league like a duck to water. He's arguably taking, even with when Van Dijk was fit and available, you could argue Gabriel at the time was the informed defender in the league.
Yeah. Jonathan Porter says it's fine margins. We haven't got the players to dominate sides yet, but we need to be more clinical. But that will come. But we're going to have the odd bad result. Yeah, that pretty much sums up where we are as a club at the moment. Russ says I was really, really disappointed with Lacazette. He's been a big fan of his, but now he thinks it's time for him to go. Yeah, I have to agree. I've been really, really disappointed with Lacazette. Lacazette, for all his striking, ability, I've been so disappointed, and I think it's about time that he comes out the side for a little while, and maybe let's try and give either Nketiah or Balogun a run in the side, or even push Aubameyang centrally. I'm hoping that when Martinelli comes back, we can stick Martinelli out on the left, put Aubameyang through the middle, and have either Willian or Pepe down the right. Because I think Lacazette needs to come back out the side. He's not good performing consistently. He's not scoring enough goals. Okay, yes, his hold-up play is decent and it's good, but is it really worth leaving a striker in just for his hold-up play? We need our strikers to score goals, and we've got a world-class striker in Aubameyang who's been pushed out to that left side just to accommodate Lacazette. And I think it's now time that we need to start accommodating Aubameyang rather than accommodating Lacazette. Because Aubameyang, I said this time and time on previous shows, that you put him in that central role and you give him the opportunities that Lacazette has had, he's going to score at least 2 or 3 of those. 9 times out of 10, he's going to score at least 2 or 3 of those. So yeah, I think Lacazette needs to come out the side and needs a little break because he's massively underperforming.
Yeah, I think it all stems back to that Liverpool game because he sort of started off okay in the season, scoring goals in the first 3 games. And that Liverpool game, it's if not taking them chances, it's affected him, and literally he's gone back in himself. And he's like, as I saw yesterday, as I touched on earlier on, he had that chance in the first half. I think Aubameyang passed it through, and he literally just air kicked the air. And a few weeks ago, before obviously that Liverpool game, he would have got hold of that and put it in the net easily. It's just like it's so frustrating though, because it's not like he's got age on his side either. He's pushing.
Steve's comment here from Steve. He said, "Let's face it, there's no go easy games anymore. We need to be at our best all the time." Yeah, we do, but the fact and reality is we're not going to be at our best every time because there are still a lot of players in this side that are inconsistent. So it's how we accommodate those inconsistencies. But yeah, I agree with you. We do need to be at our best every game. We need to start, like I said, Omar alluded to it in the comments in an earlier comment that it's no good beating United one week and then losing to Aston Villa. We need to go and kick on and beat Aston Villa because, and that's what I do worry about, if I'm being honest. I do worry that we're on such a high from beating United and the players give it quite a lot. But we know that a lot of these players don't have the mental capacity to keep that up. So are they going to be burnt out now because they've had a good performance up at Old Trafford, and then come Sunday against Villa, are they just going to turn it off? And let's not forget as well, right? We've got a Europa League game in between that against Molde. Yeah. So we need to, we need to get a win there.
Yeah, exactly. Keep the run and keep that going as well. It's all about keeping the momentum going in all competitions now. Literally, just keep the consistency going. And I would play the strong again. Here and there, mix about. But again, I wouldn't play Granit in that game either. I know he probably will, but I wouldn't personally. Keep the momentum going as it is. What doesn't need fixing.
Yeah, Jonathan Porter says Lacazette's been okay. Don't forget he scored 3 goals and then had a goal disallowed against Leicester. Yeah, but see, the thing is as well, like we can't afford at the moment to be carrying passengers in this team. So we need to. If you're not performing, I'm sorry, you've got to be dropped. And there are better players that can do that job. Let's be honest. Omar says, "What a signing Gabriel has been. He's been an absolute colossus at the back. What a player," says Omar. Yeah, I agree. I think Gabriel and Partey are probably the 2 best signings we've made this summer, because now what we've got is a spine, which we haven't had a spine for a long time. All we need now is a world-class centre forward and a creative midfielder. See, the thing is, right, we've got the world-class centre forward, so we just need to put him in that right position. We need somebody who can accommodate that left-hand side. I think maybe could that be Martinelli and Willian? So we could have that. So we just need that creative midfielder who can come in and maybe do a job like Ozil. Obviously, he's done and dusted at the club. So we need to get a replacement for him, and then we possibly need a decent right back. And yeah, so we need a right back, a creative midfielder, and yeah, I think that's probably all we need. Yeah, a right back and a creative midfielder, because I would say maybe a replacement for Lacazette. Maybe like an Edouard or something.
Depending on
from Celtic or something.
Depending if they can tie down Balogun to a contract or not. If they can't, then we'll looking elsewhere. But like you said, Edouard from Celtic or something like that. But as you said with Martinelli, I think we've got the players on the left-hand side currently, in the sense of, obviously Martinelli's in at the moment. We've got Saka there as well, can play out there, Willian. But I think it's literally just...
You got Liam Roberts, new to the chat as well. Just want to shout you out.
Yeah, it's all about literally just working things around certain players at the moment. And literally, once he's got a fully fit squad, we are going to see the lots of Aubameyang playing through the middle a lot more. He said the other day in the build-up to obviously Man United game, going forward, nine times out of 10, we are going to see Aubameyang down the middle most of the time now from now on. So I hope he does do that, because we've seen in a few games this season, like recently, when he plays down the middle, he's more threatening, and we're getting more out of him. And we can't really complain. But yeah, we have got Saka to play out in the wing, Willian, but it's also I think he wants to get Martinelli back ASAP, obviously between now and Christmas, New Year time, and put him there. And obviously that's when we're going to start seeing more consistently Aubameyang down the middle. And even then, if that's the case, for that match, them two can swap over anyway if things aren't working out, because Martinelli also he can play through the middle as well.
Steve said Lacazette missed that chance because a defender flected the pass. We need to get off his case.
Literally another.
Yeah, he just needs to be more consistent.
Yeah.
Tim Golding, big up to you. He says we need a Ziyech or a Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes was non-existent yesterday, but I think that was more to do with the fact that our midfield done a number on him, with Partey and El Neni. Jonathan says there are many better players at Arsenal than Lacazette, but none at Arsenal at the moment. And then he was on about Nketiah and Balogun. He said Balogun and Nketiah aren't ready, and he said post-Christmas Martinelli may get a chance. Yeah, I do think we need Martinelli back in the side.
Yeah, because he's a fantastic player. For someone so young and so raw, it's fantastic. There's a maturity level as well. His playing style is so mature.
Big up to Grant as well. He said we need a left back as well, because if Tierney gets injured, we'll be fucked.
Yeah, Kolasinac, I forget. Oh bloody hell!
Yeah. Yeah, we do need a left back. But I think that'll come, like I said, we're not going to do everything I think the most pressing thing that we need to address at the moment in next transfer window is a creative midfielder. Is a really, really strong creative midfielder, because it's all well and good. Defensively, I think we're okay, ish. But creatively, I just feel we lack a whole lot going forward. And, maybe that's why Aubameyang's not really been scoring a lot, is because he's not really getting the service. And, we need to sort that out. We do desperately need to sort that out. Jonathan Porter said, remember, for all those signings, we need to get rid of players first. Yeah, that will happen next summer. That will happen because 99% of this squad in the summer is contracted.
The contracts are up. David Luiz, Mustafi, Socrates, Mesut, just name a few.
Yeah, so I think that will happen, and there's quite a few players that like I say, the contracts are running down, and a mass exodus off the wage bill. And I've said next summer's going to be crucial, because all these players are leaving. It's who we get in to replace them is going to be the key. No to Jesus, Tim.
No. He's not
Raul Jimenez. He said we should get Jimenez or Jesus. No, I don't want Jesus. He's crap. Actually does nothing. He is total bollocks. Even Man City don't rate him. Do you know what I mean?
There's a good shout in there by him, actually, in the following comment. James Ward-Prowse would be a good shout for Arsenal. Young, British, Premier League proven. And he's doing wonders at Southampton, let's be honest. And his set pieces and creativity is what we need. And he wouldn't need time to settle in either. Like an hour would.
Yeah, we need to. Steve says that we need to get a creative midfielder and a right back. But listen, we ain't going to do everything next summer, so it's going to take at least a couple more windows. And what will help though is if we've got Champions League football. This is going to help massively. This is the key, right? And I've said this for years. We get Champions League football. Okay, yes, it's not going to be the answer to our prayers, but what it does is that we'll get better players come into our team. You know, we'll get. Listen, we know we struck gold in getting Partey. You know, absolutely struck gold. But we'll get better players as well coming. You know, we'll get better players come into our team, and you know, we can attract better players with Champions League football. Plus, we'll have more money. You know, we'll have more money. A lot of this deadwood is going to be gone, you know, by the end of the season. So next summer is just as big transitional summer, even more so than this summer, because listen, we've had the whole thing with COVID, and COVID's kind of fucked everybody's plans up, not just Arsenal's. So, you know, we need to, once next summer, hopefully by next summer, we'll be shot of COVID. Well, maybe not shot of COVID. It will still be around, but it won't be, listen, there won't be none of this lockdown bollocks or fans can't go to stadium bollocks. And
you say this, look at runs our country, so I don't know.
Yeah, but see, the thing is as well, you know, they're talking about having a vaccine by April, which they need to do something as well. They need a vaccine. They're talking about having 10, 12-minute testing kits now. They're talking about all this. And I've said it, like, and a lot of people are doom and gloom about this lockdown on Thursday, but I said it. It's not going to be forever. They cannot lock us down forever, because they will lose money. And they're on about protecting the NHS, right? They're on about protecting the NHS. But
help them.
If the economy doesn't function, there'll be no functioning NHS. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. There'll be no functioning NHS because there'll be no money to fund it. So, you know, they're not going to do it forever. They can't do it. Already people are getting pissed off. Do you see, there was a video on Facebook, right, yeah, of a mass brawl in my local town centre because everyone's getting pissed off. There was about 30 people having a massive fight in the high street. Do you know what I mean? It was absolutely mental.
I haven't seen anything about where I am, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens sooner or later. But then they've got idiots. There's another thing now, literally 3:30 in the morning, I'm getting woken up because there's idiots in and around me setting off fireworks at 3:30 in the fucking morning.
Big up, Simpy. I hope you're well, mate. Listen, thanks for joining me for the watch along as always. Got a good little system going on there. Let's have a look here. Jonathan Porter says, and this is a good point, and this is one of the things that I've been worrying about for a long time. He says we need to get a tune out of Pepe or sell him. And I am worried about Pepe. I am absolutely worried about Pepe because he's got the quality. He's just not consistent with it. And I hate to say it, and I'm gonna throw a bomb into the stream now by saying this. I fear that he's going to be like another Mesut Ozil. You know, he's got the talent, but not consistency, not consistent enough.
Jesus.
No, honestly, I do. I am starting to worry about Pepe, and I do think because listen, let's be honest, right? Mesut Ozil's got the talent. Let's be absolutely real about this. He's got the talent. And you know, I loved the guy. You know, before he came to Arsenal, and when he come to Arsenal, Mesut Ozil. You know, like, you know, when he ripped England apart in that World Cup game in 2010, you could see that the guy had bags and bags and bags of talent, but he's just not He's just not done it consistently enough. And he's always blaming other people for his poor performances. So I'm not saying that Pepe's doing any kind of mind games like that. Oh, no. But in terms of football ability, he's got it. He just needs to show it on a consistent basis.
I think what goes to Pepe's favour at the moment is he's a couple of years, about 3-4 years younger, isn't he? So he's got that on his side at the moment. But yeah, he's got to start turning out his performances and showing it consistently, because we're going into the back end of last season. Near the end of it, he started putting the runs together. Oh, fantastic! He's like, we've got him now, literally. And then literally the season's obviously ended. The FA Cup final was fantastic. The season started, and he's gone back within himself a bit. And you see, and then it comes out again, and then he goes back in himself. It's like, it's something, again, Mikel's going to work out quick as well. Can he sort of turn it out and have a word with Pepe and sort of work with him to get him back to that sort of form we saw it back in the last season, but for a whole season and going forward, because he's a fantastic player. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's only one little thing you got to work on, and that's his end product 9 times out of 10, because sometimes he does hold on to the ball a bit too long sometimes. And that's something, that's one, I think that's the only real thing, once you get the consistency going, that you sort of got to work on, is him sort of releasing the ball a bit quicker.
Steve says he doesn't think we can make top 4 this season. Top 6 is going to be difficult. He's praying for, but even that's going to be difficult. Again, Jonathan Porter says he thinks we can make top 4, but it's more likely top 5 or 6. Football Brownies in the chat. How are you? He said, Jonathan says, he won't turn into Ozil in terms of clinging on, but we could be making an embarrassing loss on him in regards to Pepe. Steve says we need to get a right back before any right winger, and then this team will succeed. Yeah, but I listen. As much as we can blame Bellerin, and Bellerin is to blame in partly. Listen, Pepe's got the ability. You know, he's got the ability, so he can succeed. And let's not remember, Pepe's played out on that left-hand side as well, and still had a poor game. So, you know, he hasn't had Bellerin anywhere near him when he's been on the left-hand side. Tim says, even with Timo Werner, as a Chelsea fan, I'd still take Jamie Vardy. Yeah, do you know what, right? I think Arsenal missed a trick when they failed to sign Jamie Vardy. And I think Timo Werner will be good for you guys as well. I think the one you got to worry about is Havertz, because he's really massively underperforming. And you spent an awful lot of money on Havertz as well.
That's just a 90 million out of 200 mil you spent. But yeah. Oh dear. But yeah, it's just about. It was obviously, again, it's not just that. It doesn't. If it didn't work out, it just proves it's not just an Arsenal thing. That some players they may be great in one league, come to the Premier League, a whole different kettle of fish. It's more physically demanding at a faster pace as well, and sometimes you just can't deal with that. It is what it is. But But I admire the people for them players that it doesn't work out in the Premier League. I admire at least trying, giving it a go.
Steve said the fact that Willian's struggling, he said it shows that it's not the wingers, it's the problem, it's a lack of support from behind. Yeah, Willian done all right yesterday, though, I thought.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and obviously his pass led to the penalty being given, because obviously if he didn't make that pass, Bellerin doesn't make that run.
Yeah.
Foul. So he did hit the crossbar the first off. That's what I'm saying. It's sort of like you said with DT, what he said. The scoreline, as I was trying to say earlier, the scoreline really did flatten Man United in the end, because it's 1-0. It should have been really a lot higher in our favour.
Jonathan says it's easy to blame Bellerin, but he said Pepe is too one-dimensional and one-footed. One-footed and predictable. It's easy to blame Bellerin because many people dislike him, but he thinks Bellerin's okay. Yeah, Pepe is too predictable, and it's easy to make Bellerin out as the scapegoat for him. But yeah, he is too predictable. Steve says one player can take on. Let's see. One player cannot take on 2 or 3 players all game and be successful, he said. Jonathan Porter said the Jamie Vardy boat has sailed. He's too old. We don't need another short-term solution. I disagree, actually. I think short-term is what we need right now to get us into the Champions League, to get us where we need to be, and then we can look. Look at that. You look at Willian. We've signed him, and he's getting on a bit. You think we've signed Aubameyang to a new contract? I don't think age really matters anymore in football. Look look at Zlatan, look at Ibrahimovic. He's 39 and he's still banging in the goals like left, right, and centre. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think we can look at age now. A lot of players are going on for a lot longer than the applicable 30 or early 30s. Russ Morgan said if we'd had signed Vardy, we wouldn't have probably signed Laka. Yeah, I agree. I think if we'd have got Vardy, Lacazette wouldn't have been part of the.
Oh no, yeah, literally. Of course, Vardy was obviously up back of their Premier League title win, and that was like 2016. And we got Laka in 2017, didn't we?
Yeah, 20. No, I think we got Laka in 2016. Was it 2016 we got Laka?
I'm not trying to remember now.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was two. Oh no, hold on.
Because Wenger's last season was Laka for the first.
I think it was the first season we. It was the first season we were out of Europe. So yeah, 2017. So 2000. Yeah. And then we got Aubameyang in. We got Aubameyang in January. And that was when Ozil signed his massive bloody stupid contract, courtesy of Gazidis, the bald-headed prick. Yeah, that guy, Gazidis. Tell you what, Gazidis won't ever be on my Christmas card list. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather send him shit in a fucking envelope than a Christmas card. Do you know what I mean? We put up with his shit for years. Yeah, I have some of mine. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, don't. It's just
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And now he's fucking over Milan as well, so it makes it even better.
Grant says, I will take Vardy all day long because he's still banging in the goals, but he'll never join.
If you work to his abilities, you'll get the best out of him. That's what Brendan Rodgers did when he came into Leicester, because obviously Piau, or how do you pronounce his fucking name, the last guy was there, started to sort of ease Vardy out, sort of out of the squad. He wanted to move on, and it weren't working. So he's got technically, but then went back, saw what he had, and he's used it to the best of his abilities, and he won a golden boot amongst it all as well.
Jonathan says age isn't important, but the age value of the whole squad. We need to get players who we can sell on. I don't want us to be a selling club, to be quite honest with you. I'd rather us be a successful club. Listen, I know it's going to happen. The quality of player. Listen, bigger clubs are going to come in for him. I've said this about Martinelli as well. I said, listen, he's going to be a decent player, but he's not going to stay at Arsenal forever, because I'll tell you something now. If he's successful, Barcelona and Real Madrid are going to come calling for him. I just hope with players like Martinelli that they see that players have gone to Barcelona and Real Madrid and flopped, and it's ruined their career. So I'm hoping that players don't look at Aubameyang, right? He had the chance to go to Barca and stayed at Arsenal, because it's not, you go to Barcelona, it ruins your career. Or you go to Real Madrid. You look at Hazard, right? Quality player, got bags of ability, gone to Real Madrid, and it's ruined him. Absolutely ruined his career. So yeah, I just hope that it's not always about going to the big clubs is going to bring you the success. Look at Anelka, right? Went to Real Madrid, it fucked his career completely. He should have stayed at Arsenal. Should have absolutely stayed at Arsenal. Instead, that he was chasing the big dream, and it come back to bite him on the arse.
Yeah, I mean, what was it?
Russ says Vardy said he needed extra time to think about a move to Arsenal. No, you don't. Russ said, no, you don't, mate. One chance is enough. Now jog on. Disagree, Jonathan, completely about that. They have a stricter thought of Vardy and Aubameyang. In 2 years' time, you're going to be in a mess. I disagree with that, to be fair. Grant makes a good point. He said, yes, you do. Russ Morgan, he's obviously replying to Russ's comment. Leicester won a title, Arsenal not won one in 20 years, so technically he's made the right choice. So yeah, I can you sort of balance it out with that, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Said, look at Liverpool, they wouldn't have had Alisson and Van Dijk if they hadn't had sold Coutinho. Yeah, but we have got sellable assets in our team now. You know, you look at Bukayo Saka, he's a sellable asset if we need to. Not that we're going to. Martinelli is a sellable asset. You know, granted, we've not got many, but the reason why as well we didn't sell the likes of Guendouzi and stuff this summer as well is because no one's got the money this summer. No one had the money because of COVID. So we have to just be we have to understand that you know, we have had this situation and it's not ideal, but next summer, like I said, a lot of these deadwood, a lot of these players are just going to be gone because their contracts are up. And I'll tell you something now, Arsenal ain't going to renew their contracts. And hopefully by then we've got Champions League football. Hopefully by then, you know, the pull of Arteta. Listen, you know, a lot of people are slagging off Arteta right here because his tactics on the pitch and sometimes he's questionable. And yeah, I get that. I completely agree. But let's not forget, right? We have to look at, he convinced Aubameyang to sign a contract. He convinced Thomas Partey to come and join Arsenal. Let's not forget, Thomas Partey left a Champions League club in Atletico Madrid who were successful, in my eyes, more successful than Arsenal. Let's be honest about it. And he come to Arsenal. He left Champions League football for Europa League football. And so, you know, and the same with Aubameyang. Aubameyang left Dortmund to come to Arsenal. You know, Lacazette was kind of a bit different because he was going to go to Atletico and then they got their ban and he ended up coming to Arsenal. But it's just, do you know what I'm saying, right? We can attract these players. It's not, you know, Champions League football does help, but trophies what matter more to players. You ask any professional player, would they rather consistently get into the top 4? And yes, Champions League helps. Or would they rather win trophies? Trophies is what they look back on in their career.
Exactly.
And also legacy. You know, players will want to leave a legacy. Listen, we're still talking about Ian Wright. We're still talking about Thierry Henry. We're still talking about Patrick Vieira because those guys left legacies, and that's what Aubameyang wanted. You know, he wants to leave a legacy. He wants to be remembered as one of the Arsenal greats. He didn't just, you know, he could have gone on and won trophies, you know, at Barcelona. Well, Barcelona are in a shit state at the moment, so you know, he could have gone elsewhere and won trophies, but he wanted to stay and leave a legacy, which players don't get that. Do you know what I mean? Not every player gets that.
Well, no, of course not. But as you said, it's what you're doing at your time at the club defines you. As we said about the Henrys, Adams, Bergkamps, Keown, Seaman, Dixon, John Lucas, who go further back, Mickey Thomas, Rocky Rocastle, Kev Campbell. They all did something significant that left a lasting legacy at the club that they'll always be remembered by the club and the fan base.
Yeah. Jonathan Porter says, my concern about those players, they'll eventually need replacing. Truth about Partey is that we doubled his wages. But yeah, he was a quality player though, and he was on the lowest wage at Atletico. Now I'm all for, listen, I'm you know, everybody knows that there's a lot of our deadwood that are on too much, right? In terms of wages, there's a lot of deadwood that need to be on lower wages. But come on, when you got a guy of Thomas Partey's quality, and he is, you can see he's only 2 games in, but you can see what difference he's making. That guy needs to be on more than what he was getting at Atletico Madrid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, you've got potentially your best player on low wages. It's a bit like the roles reversed. We've got our shittest player on the highest wages, and they had their best player on the lowest wages. So, do you know what I mean? It's just one of this, just utter mad. Tim says Partey is better than Fred, but he's not at N'Golo Kante's level yet. Do you know what? I'm going to disagree with you there. I think Partey is better than N'Golo Kante. The only reason you lot are saying that with N'Golo Kante is because N'Golo Kante's, we see him week in, week out in the Premier League. You know, we see him week in, week out. We don't see Partey week in, week out. And yes, you can't really compare N'Golo Kante to Partey because Kante's been in a tougher league. Partey's done it in the La Liga, and he hasn't done it in the Premier League. But you can already see that he'll be just as good as N'Golo Kante. I'm not saying Kante isn't a great player, because he is, but I don't think they're one's better than the other. I think it's just because we see them on a weekly basis, you know, with N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, exactly. I think the more you see a Partey, the more people realise how good he is. As long as he keeps, obviously, this isn't such an initial burst. I don't think it is, because he's a quality player. So, but sorry, go on.
Jonathan says, I agree. Partey was a good signing, but don't fool ourselves because he came for the love of the club. Yeah, but absolutely, you know, I'm not saying that he come because he loves Arsenal. Many footballers are like that. Players, this is what you guys need to realize. This is what you guys need to realize as well, right? So what you guys need to realize in the chat is that these players they don't love the club like we do. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that he come because he loves Arsenal. I'm not saying that at all. But you know, the money, you know, yeah, of course it was a factor. But come on, right? If you've got a football career, you know, if you're a professional footballer, professional footballers have got a short career, an absolute short career, right? So you're gonna take care of every single decision that you make. You know, Partey's 27 years old, so 28, 29, 30, 31, 30. So you probably think, right, he's probably going to see his days out at Arsenal. 27, you know, not a lot left in his footballing career. I know I said people can go on, you know, ages, you know, footballers have been playing longer, but genuinely, right, you know, more often than not, players will end their careers in their early to maybe mid-30s at a push, and even then they probably won't be at the highest level. So you have to understand with Partey is that he would have weighed it up, and you know, on balance, when you look at it, he would have had a better career at Atletico because they're consistently in the Champions League, defensively better. Do you know what I mean? You on paper you would say that he had a cushy number at Atletico Madrid, but he moved to Arsenal. He moved to a project. You know, he moved to a club that, you know, we're not successful as Atletico Madrid, even though they're not really that successful sort of either, but they're up there with the best, in my opinion. Atletico Madrid, they're up there with the best teams in the world, and he left that to come to Arsenal. So that has got to be taken into consideration. I know that players don't love the clubs like we do, but come on, you're not. If you're a professional footballer, right? Forget the love of clubs and forget all of that. If you're a professional footballer and say you were at Atletico Madrid, would you move to Arsenal? Because I'll tell you something now, I'm not sure I would. Do you know what I mean? You know, taking my biased hat off right here, because you know everyone knows I'm an Arsenal fan through and through. But if I was a professional footballer and I was looking at it from a footballing point of view, I wouldn't come to Arsenal.
No, exactly.
So
exactly.
do you know what I mean? You've got to look at it from a professional footballer's point of view. You know, some people we have offered at Arsenal players to come to Arsenal on big money contracts, big players, good quality players, but they've turned us down. So it's not always about the money. You know, with some players it is. With some players it is, but not always.
Of course. I think what goes in our favour this time and how we've been able to attract the likes of Partey and bring in Willian as well is Arteta, because Arteta has done what Wenger used to do in the early years and make the phone call, make that personal touch and show how much him as a manager or at the time head coach wanted him. It weren't just a club that was going to bring him in and he'll just be sitting on the bench because of coach didn't want him. Arteta made the point, no, I want you to be a part of this project because I want to get this club back to where it used to be and even higher, and to the point where in the next 3 years, I don't want us just being in the Champions League or winning the Premier League title. I want us winning the main prize, the Champions League, the one of the big ears, and becoming the first North London club to win the Champions League. Is that ideology, that idea that everything he's saying, he's selling to these players, and for someone who's, with all due respect, without being disrespectful for Arteta, he's doing a fantastic job. This is his first job, so he technically still classed as a novice. He's doing again, as I keep saying, doing a fantastic job, and to convince these sort of players of this caliber to buy into his philosophy, his ideas, he must be saying something right.
Yeah, Russ said, don't get attached to these players because they aren't going to get attached to you. Do you know, I kind of disagree to a point, and do you know what? I get you. You know, when you guys say that it's a job to them. You know, I get you when it's a job. You know, when it's a job to them. I disagree with you, Jonathan, though, when you said if Aubameyang was offered more money, he would have been off. I disagree with you there, because he stayed because he wants to leave a legacy at Arsenal. When you look at how much he's actually interacted with the fans and brought the fans closer to the club, you know, I kind of disagree with you. You know, I disagree on that level. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, he's you know, you look at Aubameyang and he's brought the fans close to the club. You know, he's brought the fans close to the club, and he wants to leave a legacy. Leaving a legacy means that fans will be talking about you every single time. You'll be implemented in club history. You know, if it was solely about professionalism, he would have gone to Barcelona. He would have absolutely gone to Barcelona or gone elsewhere. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the majority of players, it is just a career to them. But there are some players that do value, you know, that do value the
club and all that, and the values of the club.
Yeah. I mean, I know he was getting a hell of a load of fucktard of money, and you know, but look at Lionel Messi, right? Yeah, always been at Barcelona his whole career. He could have gone elsewhere. Okay, you know, I know he was an astronomical wages, and he wouldn't have got that elsewhere.
Well, Man City and Barcelona, not Barcelona. Man City and PSG.
Yeah, Man City and PSG could have afforded him.
Yeah, they're only clubs that can afford that sort of wage and salary and all that, because they're run by countries. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but also talking about Aubameyang as well, the fact he has that connection with lots of Ian Wright behind off the pitch and all that, and that takes into account as well the fact that when he did sign his new contract, it was all set up in him and he was doing stuff with Ian Wright. Expect of all people, it had to be him because he built a bond with him, and he knows from what he sees on social media from Arsenal fans towards Ian, how much we love Ian. So he knows how much of a legend he is and what he done for the club and the legacy he left behind.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we'll probably wrap up there because we've had a good review. We've covered the Man United game. We talked about that. We've also read some chats. We've also had a really in-depth chat about various things to do with footballers and stuff. Ryan, thanks very much for joining me. Do you just want to let everybody know where they can find you and what's coming up on your platforms?
Or on Twitter, you can find me at Mr. Arsenal89. I'm literally either 5 or 4 away from 4,000 followers on there. You can also find me over here on YouTube as well at the Mr. Arsenal podcast. I'm currently, I'll double check now actually. Just checking now, count. I'm 9 away from 500. So, it's gone mad in the last 24 hours. That channel, the numbers have gone from 460 something to there. Kind of 491, but tonight I'll be doing a live stream episode 5 of my career mode of Arsenal career mode on FIFA 21. Doing episode 5 of that tonight. Tomorrow's gonna be my night off, and then Wednesday doing a watch along for Real Madrid versus Inter Milan. Then on Thursday doing another watch along for the Arsenal versus Molde, and a few other bits and pieces throughout the week, podcasts here and a watch along on Sunday as well. And again, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Well, listen, guys, that's it for today's show, for the review. Like I said, do go and check out Ryan's channel and Ryan's Twitter and all his platforms. Great channel. Tomorrow, I'm going to be taking the day off. As you know, Tuesdays is usually my day off. And then Wednesday, I'll be back with a preview for the game on Thursday. I'll be doing a preview for the Arsenal versus Molde game. Then on Thursday, I'll be doing a watch along. Joining me will be my usual regular partner in streams, Simpy. So we got the watch along for that. And then on Friday will be the review for that game. And then also there'll be a preview for the Aston Villa game. I haven't decided whether to do a Champions League watch along or not on Tuesday or Wednesday. What with everything else with the previews and that, it's all trying to fit it all in, isn't it? And not have not burn myself out. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. Also, guys, put it down in the comments below under this video what you'd like me to do. Listen, I know that football is still continuing during lockdown, but if there's any content you want me to do during the lockdown period, listen, I know lockdown is tough for everybody, so if there's any content you want me to do or anything you'd like me to cover, or if you want me to do another Q&A or something, let me know, and I will do it. Also, do subscribe, do smash a like on this video, do keep sharing. Closing in on 300 likes on Facebook. I'm closing in on, I think I'm like 40 odd subs away from 1,200. And then I'm pushing to 1,000 followers on Twitter. So yeah, if you're not following all my platforms, do. The information is at the bottom of your screens, rolling across the bottom of your screens there. Thank you to everybody joining. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Thanks to Ryan. This has been a pleasure having you on. And until Wednesday, all look after yourselves. And yeah, come on, you Gunners.